Okay, now let's go to question 6. Under this question, you'll be allowed to use your calculator under this this part of the question where the question was being taken from. So you are going to be allowed to use your calculator. And then this is what a simultaneous equation. So the solution of the system of equation below is xy 5x minus 6y equals to 2.7. That is equation 1. 10x plus 7y equals to 1.6. That is equation 2. And the question now says, what is the value of x? Now remember, we are not asked to look for y. So you can just easily look for your x and then get your answer and move on. And you don't need to start, searching and then, disturbing yourself. So now, how can you do this? Now, I'm going to be using elimination method. But remember, using any method doesn't give you any mark. What gives you mark is to get the final answer. So, which means use any method you are comfortable with when you get to the exam hall. Remember, you have time. They are already timing, so you should be able to maximize your time. Anyone you see that is very simple that you can solve quickly, so that you can use it for the time for more difficult questions. Okay, so for this, now because we are looking for just x, now see what we're going to do. For the elimination method, remember the elimination method, you will take the coefficient of any variable you want to use. Now, because we are looking for x, now let's just solve for x. So now, we will take the coefficient of what? Of y in equation 2 to multiply, which is going to be 7 times 5x minus 6y equals to 2.7. That is, you take the coefficient of what? Of y in equation 2 to multiply all through in what? Everything you have what? For equation 1. The same thing goes to what? To y in equation 1. Remember that in equation 1, y is what? Is negative 6, not 6. So you have to go with negative 6 times 10x plus 7y equals to 1.6. That is equation 2. Now let's go ahead, let's do that. So if you said this, let's start with this. So 7 times 5, that will give us what? 35x. 7 times 6, that should give us what? 42. Yes, that should give us 42y equals to, so 2.7 times 7. That will give us what? 18.9. Now let's go to the next one. Negative 6 times 10. That will give us what? Negative. That will give us negative 60x. Negative times positive, that is what? Negative. 6 times 7, that is 42y. Then equals to what? Then negative times positive, that is here. That will give us what? Negative. Then 6 times 1.6. That will give us what? Negative 9.6. Okay, let's go. Now, what can we do now? Since we already have that, since we have y to what? Is equal to the same thing. So what can you do? Eliminate it. How can you eliminate this? That means you have to what? Subtract. So because if you subtract this, automatically to give us what? That means if you subtract this, 42. Oh my God. 42. So if you subtract this, negative times negative will give us positive. So automatically this one is going to what? Give you 0. So now let's go to this one. Negative times negative will give us plus. Okay? So which is 35 plus 60. That will give us what? 95x. Okay? Let's go. Then this also. So negative times also negative will have what? Positive. And then what we'll do? So that means 18.9 plus 9.6. That will give us what? 28.5. Remember, we are looking for x. So what will we do? Divide both sides by what? By 95. Divide both sides by 95. So what do? So if we divide both sides by 95, we go. So that means x will give us what? 0.3. Remember that what we are looking for is x, not y. Now, you can try that on your own. Now, that will be something, just try. Take any of the equation, either equation 1 or 2. Substitute this 0.3 into any of the equation and get your y. And then to know whether you are right, substitute the x and y back into any equation. You must have what? Anything you have on the equal side. That is how to learn. So try that on your own. I'm saying this is because on the example, you don't need to look for your y. Go straight to what they ask you to do and then get your answer. That is how you need to do so that you can maximize your time. Now let's go to the next question. A random sample of 50 people from a town with a population of 14,878 were asked to name their favorite flavor of ice cream. If 7 people in the sample named chocolate as their favorite ice cream flavor, this is English, about how many people in the town would be expected to name chocolate? About how many? So this is an English word. So remember, always make sure that you understand what you are reading before you jump into anything you want to do. This question is taken from rates and proportion. Rate and ratio proportion. So this is taken from that kind of category of question. So now they already asked that some people were taking sample that they say, well, they name chocolate as their favorite ice cream. Out of the P50, what do you think is going to be what? About how many will be expected to name what? Chocolate as their what? So what do you do? So that's what 7 all over what? 50 times the number of population, which is what? 4,878. So what do? If you divide this will give us what? 0.14 times 14,878. If you multiply this together, it should give us what? 2082.92. But remember, they said what? About how many? So that means what? You go to what? Approximate. And then check the one, because population you can't have a population of decimal. It's not possible. So it has to be what? An whole number. So about how many? It will be what? 2,100 people that will be expected to name what? Chocolate. So B will be our answer for that. So that is that for that part. We'll solve more questions again. So all we used to say, make sure you follow us on our social media handles. BankyA Edu, that's our YouTube channels. You're going to see it below on the screen below. Try to connect with us and ask any question you want, any question you think you want to ask. We are ready to tell you the answer. Thank you. Bye.